Welcome to another installment of What Has Cheese Done in the Background Again, while not turning on the camera. Well, for this last part, I guess I did what I talked about in one of my other videos, is this NES controller port to a USB converter thing that I bought off of a RAFnet. The thing about that is that off camera I soldered this. I just soldered this. Would have liked to show you how I did it, but I guess I forgot. I'm an idiot and I didn't turn on the camera. But the thing is, I don't really know if my soldering job is good enough or not. All I know is that I think I followed the correct instructions. I don't know if my soldering is good enough or not. The only way to know is to test it, which I will do someday. And also, in all of the examples that I've seen of people doing this type of project is that they actually this to a USB-A connector instead of this internal USB 2 header thing that you plug into the motherboard. This is what I had lying around, and this is what I wanted to do also, because I want to put this in front of the NES case like if it was an actual controller port. This is an actual NES controller port, and I want to put it in front like the original NES. The only thing is that, yeah, I've only seen people do this with a USB-A connector, through actual, everyday USB, but this is what I wanted to do. I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm fairly confident that USB-A or this USB header thing is the same, so yeah, I guess we'll have to open up the NES, plug it in, and see if it works. Something I would like to show you now is how and in what order are you supposed to solder these in. Well, the USB side of things is actually fairly easy to do. It's on the RAFnet site, and it's there's even like a white and a black, a white and a green, a white and a black, yeah, a white and a black letter on it to show you where you're supposed to plug solder these two wires to on the board. But the rest is fairly fair game, or it's fairly a bit random. Well, it's not random, but it's just it's a little bit complicated. I'll put some schematics on the screen now, and one of the things that kind of mixed me up is the colors for soldering the NES controller onto the board. On the examples on the actual website where you buy this board, they only really show you a bit on the schematic for the SNES controller port, which is not what I want to do. So there's another link on the bottom of the store page for this chip that has more schematics and more examples on how to do this. I'm not 100% sure yet if what I did is correct, since I haven't plugged it in yet. But so there's 6 soldering joints all stuck up together here. If I can focus right. 6 little soldering joints here. 2 first are reserved for the clock and other sync thing. And then the 4 running to the bottom are for the actual controller data. And then the last 2 ones are for the positive and the ground for powering the controllers.
Whoa, that's a genuinely shocking fact.
So I redid the the soldering job I did on this side completely, and then redid the orange and the yellow cable here, so there wasn't as much metal showing, so it would actually be like really just the amount of metal, amount of wire needed to do the soldering job. So I guess this is take two, try two, whatever two. Let's try it out. So hey, moment of truth. Well, we got to the BIOS. Don't know if that's a good sign or not. The SATA cable disconnected from my SSD, so that's why. Wasn't detecting anything. Hey! Getting somewhere. I don't know under what should be under. Maybe just. Let's plug up a controller and see what happens. Oh! The input for that. Oh! I do a button. Oh! It worked! AB! No way! Control stick. Up. Down. Left. Left. No, that's down. Right. Hey! Okay. Start. I don't know. Let's try melee. Doesn't seem to be really working 100%. Doesn't seem to be working anymore for some reason. So after a whole afternoon of unsoldering, desoldering, soldering, desoldering, soldering, desoldering, soldering, the USB side and the controller port side, it works now. And to show it to you, I booted up, well, I'll be booting up Smash Bros. So here, controller, here's Smash. And everything works. Obviously, like this isn't an analog stick, so pretty much 4 directions, and like there's no shoulder buttons and pretty limited, but it works. So here it is, and now you might be wondering, wait, didn't you say that I didn't have enough room to put the first port in? I just cut the leads off of what was behind it, so I took a cutter, cut off the plastic and connections that I had in the back, so it would actually be smaller and be able to fit in there. So it's pretty much just for looks and not for functionality. Port number 2 works as port number 1. And so in theory, if I would plug in a controller and boot up Dolphin, boot up a random game like Mario Kart, and I'm not all that good. So obviously, Mario Kart Double Dash with an NES controller isn't all that good. Can't even throw items or drift. You can just drive. This is really not for like functionality or like if you like playing NES games, then this is perfect. But in terms of like if I would use it for Steam games or other like emulation like the GameCube, it just doesn't work. So this was a weird video. Not really much to go on, but thanks for watching. And I don't think I'll make any more videos with this system. I think it's done. So thanks for watching, and maybe see you next time in another weird build I do if I feel like it. Thanks.